we're sort of getting further into these insurance claims, and a lot of people are getting their initial claim summary back.
And they're hard to read.
Yes, well, it's the Xactimate program.
Can't
It's very
hear.
hard, and it's getting a little. Yeah, they are hard to read. You have to spend a little time with it. I'd even say go on the internet, a YouTube video on how to read one of those claim summaries. So, it's a difficult. It's not difficult, but you can learn and muddle through it. You can get a general idea because they go room by room, and they go by. And if you go through the room, you could see what they're replacing and what they're not replacing. They'll say sheetrock, shoe molding, floors. They'll say either, for floors, they'll say cleaning floors or some, as opposed to, reinstalling floors. If you have to have like sheetrock taken out, you have to have, lights take, on the ceiling, you'll have reset of, electrical cans and lights and that sort of thing. So, those are the type of issues that we have to deal with. So we'll have that. And I think also too, a lot of people are in, I guess, sticker shock that would probably, be a little difficult when they get their claim back. They're like, oh my gosh, that's all I'm going to get. And again, we have to remind the policyholders that it's really about the policyholder has to set the damages. The insurance company comes in, does a cursory review, throws I guess what a lot of people would call a lowball estimate for damages. And the insurance company basically says, after that, you prove your damages over and above this.
Can't you ask for a second adjustment?
Yes, I think you can. That's one of the things that you can definitely do is ask for a second adjustment. In fact, today we probably had a claim. I mean, this house was trashed on the inside, and when we went through the inspection, we sort of could see that the claims adjuster was in over his head. I mean, he was just not. I hate to use competent, but he wasn't able to do. You could tell he wasn't able to do the job, and in essence, it was probably a six-figure job that came back at $13,000.
That's when you definitely want a readjustment.
It's probably an extreme. So we're going to get on the phone tomorrow, and we're going to show pictures, go through the pictures, sort of give a little explanation and prevail on them to send another adjustment. And it is basically if there's not, I'm going to basically tell them, I said, look, come out here and try to resolve it. I said, if we have to do it the long way, it's going to cost, State Farm a lot of money, it costs everybody a lot of money.
Right.
So it's mutual self-destruction. So that's what we would want to, that's one alternative. You can ask for a readjustment, and you just keep asking enough claims adjusters and or go through enough lines of authority, you probably will get one at some point. So those are issues, but
or you also have your opportunity to get your own and then prove your damages that way. Right.
Well, you want to get as much free money as you can,
sure.
And you want to get as much money up front. So what you can do both. You ask for the readjustment, ask them to come back out, get them, the insurance company, to pay the unconditional tender. Now, we always are getting phone calls. I received X amount of money in my bank account, or I received a check. Can I keep that? Or is that a full and final settlement? And that's no. Because after this initial adjustment period by the insurance companies, they do that because they have a duty to pay what's undisputed. And so you can receive that without recourse, and you can always file a supplement. So if you are getting a payment and you're dissatisfied with it, it's okay to cash it. It's okay to, and use that as seed money to start your repair. And you always start your seed money is, first two things you want to do is get the roof fixed, and then get all the wet sheet, anything that's wet out, sheetrock, ceiling.
Let me ask you this: if your roof inspector says you need a new roof, but the insurance company's only paid you for a partial, and you get a tender of money, I've had this question asked of me: Do I go ahead and get the full roof? with the risk that I might not get the money for a full roof?
That's a tough thing. My advice is, if you can, get the full roof. And when you get the full roof, you have your roofer state in the invoice, roof replacement necessitated by Hurricane Ida. You have him do the analysis as to why he recommended a roof replacement as opposed to a repair. And he could even talk about, some of the analysis that he did, seal tabs, granules, whatever we'll talk to Eric about. And then say that, and it's definitive that the roof replacement was due to the high winds from Ida. You submit that to the insurance company. Now, first of all, if you're able to do it in advance, which is the best way of doing it, most people can't afford to do that. It really puts the insurance company in a spot, because the 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 damages are set. Because if you don't know, if you hadn't done the repairs, you're dealing with estimates, and you're dealing with a certain amount of reasonable speculation. But if you already do the work and you build the insurance company, they can't really argue. They can't argue about the unit cost. They can't argue about the supplies. They cannot argue, because it is what it is, and you spent it to fix it. And it was reasonable. So they either have to pay it, or they're going to have to, they may say it's an upgrade. They may say it's greater, a scope that's greater than the damage. There's a lot of things that they can come back with, but that is the most, as you say, some certain way to determine the cost of the repair,
Right.
especially the roof. So there's several people who have insurance company said, we're only going to pay for a repair. And they say, well, I have to replace it anyway. I cannot patch this roof because it's going to cause problems in the future. Aesthetically, it's going to cause problems. Functionally, it's going to cause problems as far as the warranties being void. So they're going to do it, and you submit it to the insurance company. Say, this is I've done it. I've replaced it. My roofer made an opinion that it needs to be replaced. It cannot be patched. List all of reasons and say, I want to be reimbursed for it.
Well, let me ask you this. Is every roofer qualified to give an opinion as to the reason, as to the necessity or the basis for a new roof?
If they're licensed, yes.
Okay.
And if they got experience, absolutely. As long as they're not newbies and it's the first year. But if somebody in their organization saw the roof, made that opinion, which most companies have experienced roofers in there, that should be enough. And so that's one. That's sort of the issue. You have to, again, is a change of mindset, because a lot of people get disappointed, rightfully so, that the insurance company did such a deficient job in determining all the damages. But it's really not their job to do it. It's your job. And so you can either pull it together by getting estimates from several trades and tying it all together, which is difficult because most of the trades are busy. In fact, I have engineers and I have contractors telling me, don't call me for another 6 weeks. I'm booked up. Don't even ask me to come out to look at a property because I'm booked up. Forensic engineers, we give little recommendations on the contractors, sheetrocks. They're like, we're backed up. Don't leave me alone for a while. So we understand it's very difficult. But one thing is it's better to get it right and maybe take a little time,
Right.
than just to, sort of, maybe do things halfway and get in sooner. So, but the two things you definitely need to do, and this is just for preservation, is secure that roof, get rid of all that wet sheetrock.
And I think that's what people don't really realize, that you need to get the wetness out, because you have a duty to try to mitigate your damages.
Right. And again, we talked about if the adjuster had made his way out there and you're afraid to pull out the wet sheetrock because you want him to see it, what I'd suggest you do is you write an email to the insurance company and say, an adjuster hadn't been out here for 44 days. And I have to pull out this wet sheetrock to mitigate my damages. So I'm going to start on, Friday, October, 15th.
We need a break.
And if you want to send somebody out there to see it before the 15th, you better do it. Otherwise, I'm going to go ahead and do it. I'm going to do it and take a lot of pictures
And videos.
The before and after, so that you'll be able to reconstruct that. So, all right, well, let's go to a break. It's Doug Sinceri, Michelle Demers Sinceri. On the Ida Recovery Connection, we'll be back with Mr. Eric White, our roofing expert, right after this brief timeout. Let's see what's wrong with this.
WWL is your home team, home of the New Orleans Saints, home of the LSU Fighting Tigers, home of Bobby Hebert, Deuce McAllister, and Mike Hoss. For all pro analysis of the teams you love, catch Sports Talk with Bobby Hebert, Christian Garrick, and Mike Detillier, weekdays 4 to 8 p.m. Then game day, turn up the home team.
Test.
WWL.
It's been a great start to the NFL season, and it's only getting better at DraftKings, the official daily fantasy partner of the NFL. DraftKings is putting new customers in the center of the action with a free shot at millions of dollars in total prizes. Get in on the action now. It's simple. Just pick your lineup, stay under the salary cap, and see how your team stacks up against the competition. Feel the NFL action never before with a free shot at millions of dollars in total prizes. DraftKings is safe, secure, and reliable. And the best part is you can deposit and withdraw your cash whenever you want. Download the DraftKings app now and use code BIG870. This week, new customers can get a free shot at millions of dollars in total prizes. Enter code BIG870 to get a free shot at millions of dollars in total prizes with your first deposit. That's code BIG870. Only at DraftKings, the official daily fantasy partner of the NFL. Minimum $5 deposit required. Eligibility restrictions apply. See DraftKings.com for details.
Sometimes it's hard to get a good night's sleep, especially if you work in shift work or maybe you're on an odd schedule. And it's not about the time you spend in bed. It's about the proven quality sleep that you get. That's why I have a Sleep Number bed, and I love it. I can set that mattress to whatever level of comfort and firmness I want, as can the person on the other side of the bed. So it's 2 mattresses in one. I have a Sleep Number of 90, like the bed nice and firm. Then I check my Sleep IQ based on a top score of 100. It is consistently in the lower 90s, and I'm getting proven quality, life-changing sleep. You can too, and you can save up to $800 on Sleep Number 360 smart beds. Special financing for a limited time, only at a Sleep Number store near you in Metairie on Vets next to Bonefish Grill, Covington Highway 21 in front of Winn-Dixie, or Homa, 1731 Martin Luther King, Magnolia Square. I call first. Subject to credit approval, minimum monthly payments required. See sleepnumber.com for all of the details.
I'm attorney Mike Brandner. There's nothing easy about a car wreck. You're hurt, your car's wrecked, you're in pain, you're missing work, doctor bills are piling up. You have too many things to worry about. After you've been hurt in a wreck, you need an attorney with a reputation for getting results. You focus on getting better, and we'll focus on getting you paid for it. Call 345-1111. The call and the advice are free.
Hurt in a wreck, Mike Brenner's the one. Call 345-1111.
Results may vary. Offices in Metairie and Hammond.
As life gets back to normal here, Diamonds Direct is doing our part with a special offer that's guaranteed to make celebrating those important moments easier and more affordable than ever. You can make any purchase at Diamonds Direct.
Okay, no Eric yet.
Payments over 5 years with 0 interest. And everything's included. Rings, earrings, pendants, bracelets, bands. Plus, every sale at Diamonds Direct will benefit Cajun Navy Ground Force and Second Harvest. Buy now, spread your payments over 5 years, and give back at Diamonds Direct on Severn Avenue across from Lakeside Mall.
We're planning a trip to Spain later this year.
But our Spanish
is pretty bad.
When you learn a language, you want to actually use it. Babbel is designed with that goal in mind. Babbel's conversation-based teaches you real-life words and phrases. And with Babbel's interactive, bite-sized lessons, you'll remember what you learned.
¿Cómo te llamas?
¿Cómo te llamas?
¿De dónde eres?
¿De dónde eres?
No matter your learning style or experience level, Babbel has lessons designed for you that will get you speaking quickly and confidently.
I tried learning Spanish before, but I couldn't stick with it until I found Babbel.
There's no easier way to learn another language.
Ahora hablamos español.
He just said now we speak Spanish.
I can't wait to our new language skills on our upcoming adventures.
Babbel, language for life, celebrating 10 million subscriptions sold. Now try Babbel for free at babbel.com. Just go to babbel.com and start learning a new language today. That's babbel.com. babbel.com.
Back to Ida Recovery Connection on WWL.
Okay, I got Eric.
.com and the Odyssey app. You can get expert advice now from attorney Doug Sinceri on the Oakland Heart Jewelers talk and text line 504-260-1870.
All right. We're back. Doug Sinceri and the Ida Connection.
Can't hear you.
Oh, all right. I'll go here. All right, I'm back on the Ida Connection, and we got Eric White here, and he's our roofing expert, and he's going to we're going to talk a little bit roofing. And hey, Eric, you there?
Yes, sir. I'm here.
All right. Thanks for coming. Or thanks for calling in. I wanted to get you back because the biggest issue that we're dealing with right now are roofs, and what are some of the issues that you're coming across in doing these evaluations and getting, and I guess issues with the insurance company?
I think the biggest thing right now is making sure that customers are getting their 100% due, what's due to them. For example, ordinance and law, which is code upgrade. If you have that in your policy and you have a plank deck, 1x6, 1x8 boards instead of a full sheeting of plywood, you're entitled to that code upgrade if you have more than an 1/8 inch gap in between your boards, because the bottom line is that you can't repair or replace a roof without putting full sheeting on that decking.
So why don't you explain to the listeners a little bit more, I guess, the mechanics of that and how the hurricane impacts that and why that additional sheathing is necessary?
Sure. So in Metairie, for example, in Metairie, in any New Orleans, we have a lot of houses that have, 1x6 or 1x8 wood planking that's kind of butted up each other. And over the years, they expand and contract. So when you go to tear that roof off, you may have spacing in between those 1x8 inch boards or 1x6 inch boards that if your nail line ends up on that space, then you're actually nailing into nothing. So next storm comes around and you end up with the same issues as you had before. So I've always said, advocate for yourself, educate yourself, take this opportunity what the insurance company gives you for what you have like in kind and upgrade a little bit, make sure things. So with that said, if you have full 4x8 sheets of plywood, you don't have those same instances of those spacing challenges.
Now, do most adjusters, the insurance company, is that something that's on their radar when they do an examination of the roof, if they get up on the roof?
Even if they get up on a roof, unless they go into the attic space, they're not going to know, because typically you can have either your 15-pound felt or your shingle on that may be damaged. So unless they rip off a section, they're not going to know whether or not what type of decking's on there. Unless you go into the attic space and see the actual spacing or actual planks or plywood in the attic space, you won't know. You're lucky if they get on the roof, and even if they're not going to go in the attic space.
Now, if a homeowner wanted to go in the attic, and he's not familiar with roofs, he's not really, it's the first time he started dealing with this issue, what would you tell him on what to look for in that particular situation?
Well, the first thing I ask any customer is say, hey, what kind of decking do you have on your house? And meaning is it wood planking, is it space, is it tongue and groove, or do you have solid plywood? A lot of homes built in the 50s, 60s have wood plank, and then over time, like I said, that planking shifts and shrinks, and you end up with gaps. So one time, what may have been satisfying a code with the shingles no longer does.
I got you. Now, also too, I guess you would, if you went in the attic and you saw sunshine, or raised. I mean, that would be a good way to determine that you had that movement and shrinkage as far as the decking is concerned. Another word.
Absolutely. And if you could take a butter knife too and slide it in. If you get that 1x6 planking, you can take a butter knife and slide it up in between and touch the shingles. That's not good.
Now, do most roofers companies know to look for that when they come in and do an estimate and try to give some recommendations as to how to address a hurricane damaged roof?
Well, here's the thing. Again, there's so much going on so fast right now. And again, I talk about advocating and educating. And you really need to know what you have on your house and educate yourself to that fact. Because there's so many people going there so fast. And so you get guys up there start ripping roofs and they find out wood planking. They just want to keep moving, some of these guys. And they'll just go ahead and put back on the shingles back on top of the existing roof deck. If I came across it, I would definitely say stop. We need to look at this deck spacing. If we get more than 1/8 of an inch, then we need to redeck it with a 3/8 inch plywood on top of that existing wood so we have solid structure. And that's what code is for.
Now,
and that's the International Residential Code.
Now, this is sort of a legal question I want to ask you. If the insurance company acknowledges that there's this separation or gap in the decking, but they say that is not covered by us because it's existing, what would be your response to that? From a roofing contractor's perspective.
Well, in my opinion, I would not roof a house that had that kind of spacing in it, regardless if the insurance company wanted to step up and pay for it or not. But I'll say this, that if you have ordinance and law, which anybody can have in their policy, then it is considered a code upgrade.
Right.
Because the International Residential Code calls for a full solid sheeting on the roof deck.
So basically, in insurance,
and if you look at the instructions, if you look at instructions to the shingle manufacturers, they'll tell you need a 1-inch board minimum, and you can have more than an 8 inch. So they fall back. The code falls back to the instructions to installing. There's enough evidence to show that it's definitely a code upgrade issue.
Now, a lot of people may have code and ordinance provisions in their policy and don't know it.
Explain to the listeners what that is.
It's basically stating is that if you have to do a repair, the insurance policy is responsible, the insurance company is responsible for any upgrades to comply with the present code. Because when the roof was originally done, they might have had one set of codes. And then new codes were subsequently passed. And so that if there's damage, the repair has to be done in accordance with the new code, which may require more work, more labor, and more, a greater scope of work. So, in that, if it is in that provision, if that provision's in your policy, then the insurance company is responsible for that.
Let me ask you something, Eric. So, if you have a roofer that does not change the plywood and then they put a roof on, would that void any kind of warranty from the shingle manufacturer if it's not placed on correctly?
Absolutely, and it won't even qualify for.
Right.
Now, as far as you sort of have a pulse on, you're much like if a insurance company doesn't want to pay for maybe a replacement, and you're often called in to give your assessment. What are some of the other issues in the last couple of weeks, 3 or 4 weeks, that you've encountered as far as insurance companies, a position they're taking, and why you disagree as a roofing consultant as to that particular position taken by the insurance company?
Well, again, a lot of guys
take a break after this answer.
Some that are very good, some that are not so good. Just like in any profession, you got good roofers, you got bad roofers, you got bad consultants, good consultants, you got bad adjusters, good adjusters. So with that said, there's times that, if they don't know enough about the actual roofing itself and how it ages and the process, so for example, if you have a roof that's maybe 15, 16 years old, maybe doesn't have proper ventilation or whatever the case may be, or if it's even a defect in the shingles, and you have excessive granule loss, that ages that roof prematurely. Well, a storm comes along and it makes that roof even more brittle. So when you go to try to change shingles around it, you'll easily rip shingles, tear shingles in order to try to change shingles. So a lot of times when I go and do an inspection, I'll do what's called a brittle test to make sure, number one, if I'm lifting that shingle up to be able to do a repair, if it creases that shingle above it, then I cannot do that repair because it's going to crack that shingle and potentially have leakage at that above shingle.
Gotcha. All right. Well, let's.
So they can do what's called a brittle test, brittle test, or if it's just it tears easily. So you can repair. That's the bottom line.
All right. We're going to go to a break. I'm going to ask you about asbestos roofs after the break. We got a text that has a question regarding that. Doug Sinceri, Michelle Demmer Sinceri with roofing consultant Eric White on the Ida Recovery Connection. We'll be right back after this brief timeout.
After a weekend of football, it's time to second guess. And nobody does it better than the Cajun Cannon, because he's been there, done that.
Okay, sounds good now.
Okay. And NFL analyst Mike Detillier for Second Guess. Mondays at 4 o'clock, live from the Silver Slipper, your host on the coast. Analyze Saints and NFL games like a pro. Second Guess with the two Cajuns, Bobby and Mike. Mondays from 4 p.m. till they get tired of talking on WWL.
At Oakland Heart Jewelers, we offer a vast selection of breathtaking diamond jewelry. Choose from dazzling rings, earrings, bracelets, and necklaces like no other and in every price range. See exciting new styles from designers like David Yurman, Penny Preval, Mikimoto Pearls, and Marco Biccico. World-renowned for stunning gold designs by skilled Italian artisans. And of course, Oakland Heart Collection, designed exclusively for New Orleans by our award-winning craftsmen right here in our Metairie Road store. At Open Heart, we offer extraordinary jewelry in every price range, and we offer flexible interest-free financing options. Shop smart, online or around town. Simply compare. There's nothing like Oakland Heart diamond jewelry anywhere. For that special jewelry, for that one-of-a-kind love, shop smart for the best prices possible at Oakland Heart Jewelers on Metairie Road. Beautiful in more ways than one.
If you're considering senior care for your parent and the mega-sized facilities concern you, please consider Audubon Care Homes. Audubon was developed to provide the ultimate care for 10 residents. It's nestled in a beautiful Metairie neighborhood and provides amenities the big facilities simply can't offer, including the industry's highest caregiver-to-resident ratio. Take a virtual tour of Audubon Care Homes Dreyfus House by visiting their website at auduboncarehomes.com. That's auduboncarehomes.com.
Since 1935, the All-State Sugar Bowl has been a proud New Orleans New Year's Day tradition. Through its annual support of college football and amateur sports, the Sugar Bowl attracts hundreds of thousands of visitors to the state, providing countless opportunities for young people. Resources from these events enable the Sugar Bowl to support education and community programs, impacting thousands of New Orleans area teachers and citizens. The All-State Sugar Bowl, proud to host the best of the Big 12 and the SEC in the Superdome on New Year's Day 2022.
Help DEA keep our community safe and healthy by participating in National Prescription Drug Take-Back Day, Saturday, October 23rd. Take action right in your own home by cleaning out your family medicine cabinet of unused and expired prescription drugs. Keep them safe, clean them out, take them back. To find a collection site near you, visit DEATakeback.com. Do your part to lower overdose deaths and prevent prescription drug misuse before it starts. That's DEATakeback.com.
As life gets back to normal here, Diamonds Direct is doing our part with a special offer that's guaranteed to make celebrating those important moments easier and more affordable than ever. You can make any purchase at Diamonds Direct now and spread your payments over 5 years with zero interest. And everything's included. Rings, earrings, pendants, bracelets, bands. Plus, every sale at Diamonds Direct will benefit Cajun Navy Ground Force and Second Harvest. Buy now, spread your payments over 5 years, and give back at Diamonds Direct on Severn Avenue across from Lakeside Mall.
I'm former NBA player Don Chaney. For years, I had carpal tunnel syndrome and joint pain. Then I started having heart-related symptoms like fatigue and palpitations. Turns out I had heart failure caused by hereditary transthyretin amyloid cardiomyopathy, or ATTR-CM. a rare, life-threatening disease underdiagnosed in African Americans. If you're African American and over 50 with heart failure experiencing unresolved symptoms, talk to your doctor or visit DonKnowsHisHeart.com.
Brought to you by Pfizer.
Is your retirement plan out of tune? Learn how to get yours in tune with the First Security Financial Show. Join host David Compton Saturday morning 8 to 9 for helpful tips to retirement. The First Security Financial Show, Saturdays on WWL.
Oh, according to research, 82% of people remember radio ads. That means that 82% of you listening right now will remember that this is an ad for ZipRecruiter. If you're hiring, 82% of you will recall that ZipRecruiter makes hiring faster and easier. And 82% of you will note that you can try ZipRecruiter for free today. But you have to go to ZipRecruiter.com/free. Yes, free. 82% of you will keep in mind that ZipRecruiter's technology finds qualified people for your job and actively invites them to apply.
Scott, is that you? Who are you talking to?
82% of you will also know that I live with my mom. But the most important thing to note is that ZipRecruiter works. In fact, 4 out of 5 employers who post on Recruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Will you be part of the 82% who remember where you can try ZipRecruiter for free? It's ZipRecruiter.com/free. Again, that exclusive link is ZipRecruiter.com/free. How much? Free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Navien tankless water heaters, the proven leader in condensing
Okay,
technology.
going live right after this.
Navien, because you deserve the best in endless hot water delivery. Learn about Navien's condensing tankless water heaters and find a Navien contractor at tanklessmadesimple.com.
Back to the Ida Recovery Connection on the station you turn to when it counts. WWL, the Big 870 AM, 105.3 FM, WWL.com, and the Odyssey app. Contact attorney Doug Sinceri now on the Oakland Heart Jewelers Talk and Text line, 504-260-1870.
Hey, we're back. Doug Sinceri, Michelle Demmer Sinceri, in the Ida Recovery Connection with Eric White. We'll be on tonight till 10 o'clock. We'll also be on tomorrow night from 8 to 10. And our Sunday show will be back on from 8 to 2. All things legal. The Saints are off, so we'll be on Sunday morning. So by Sunday, you'll probably be tired. Most people will be tired of me.
I'm not tired of you.
But Eric, we at the Oakland Heart Jewelers Talk and Text line, we have a text that says, my insurance company wants to fix my minimally damaged asbestos roof. Can I do that? And who can actually deal with asbestos roofs?
Well, asbestos roof in general, I mean, basically, it's a product that's no longer even available.
Right. Can that be patched?
So
I guess the question would be, can you patch or repair an asbestos roof without replacing?
I mean, I guess the bottom line is how much damage, and number two, how much wear and how old that particular roof is. Because asbestos, like any other product, will wear down over time and become very, very, very thin in order to try to replace it. Secondly, it's a product that's not even made anymore. You have to get seconds and find that somewhere for someone to get that, repaired. I argue all the time. It's like if you get asbestos slate that's on your house and the insurance company insured it and it gets damaged, then it has to be replaced.
So basically, is there any type of threshold as far as damage percentage-wise, or, what is the demarcation that you use as far as, not only for an asbestos roof, but for a 3-tab roof where you say, no, it has to be replaced and it cannot be repaired?
Typically, the rule of thumb that most people will use is take a 10 by 10 square foot area, which is 1 square of the roof in any given side, and you put that in the 10 by 10 in the worst damaged area. My opinion, if you get more than 30% damage on each side, then it's fully replaceable.
Gotcha. And when you do that 30%, is that just lifting up the shingles to see if they're sealed, or how do you define damage?
Well, a lot of times, like you said, I define damage. Yeah, I definitely would define damage as a broken seal tab, because as we discussed before, once it's broken, you got to make sure, and then you got to go back to see if it actually reseals or not. Me personally, home, I wouldn't want to take that risk. If it's broken, it's broken. And again, you lost your waterproofing. Insurance companies a lot of times use the loss granules is one example. The brittle test to see if you get a line crease in the top of the shingle where it actually is flexed is another litany test that you use and insurance companies accept as a damaged shingle.
Interesting, and I don't. This is not applicable to Louisiana, but Florida is actually a building code that says you cannot repair a roof that has more than 25% damage. And they don't have any codes like that in Louisiana, but that seems like a pretty good standard or minimal standard.
Yeah.
On a roof replacement.
I would 100% agree. Mine's 30%, but I mean that's in my opinion, 25 to 30% is absolutely too much of a damaged roof to risk further and damage on the interior to not replace.
Now, if a claims adjuster can a claims adjuster make an opinion that the roof's not damaged from the ground without getting on the roof?
Absolutely not.
All right. Would
100% not.
So, and this is informational for the listeners that if you had a adjuster who came out, rendered an opinion that you don't need a roof replacement, but never got on the roof, then that opinion basically has no scientific or analytical basis to that. But that's a fair statement.
Absolutely fair statement. If he didn't get on your roof to assess any damage, again, like the validity test is either a creation. You can't see that from the ground. There's
I got a guy who does asbestos mitigation from Ponchatoula. His name is Bill.
And I'm like, whoa, okay, totally different perspective as far as aging of the roof from the ground looking up and then getting on the roof and looking down at the roof.
All right, let's go to the phone line. Let's go to Bill from Ponchatoula. He does asbestos roofs and remediation. Hey, Bill, you're on the IDA Recovery Connection with Eric.
Hey,
Eric White. What do you have for us, Bill?
How y'all doing tonight?
Good.
No, look, we're a licensed asbestos abatement contractor in the state of Louisiana, and I just didn't know whether or not I might be able to add some 2 cents.
Absolutely.
Into, what y'all are talking about as far as the abatement portion of roofs.
Right, and you do that, you send the bill to Eric. So let it rip.
I guess. Well, no, just want to let people know that according to DEQ regs in the state of Louisiana, if you own 4 units or less as rental units or as personal property, you can pretty much do whatever you want with asbestos, whether it's your shingles or whether it's some floor tile that you may have in your house, or sheet vinyl or sheetrock, mud. You can basically you can take it yourself and you can demo it and you can put it out on the street and dispose of it as regular waste as construction debris. And there's a lot of people that don't know that, and there's a lot of people. And Doug, look, I'm not trying to impugn attorneys or anything,
Absolutely.
but attorneys have done a great job.
We're used to impugning it.
Yeah, I've done a great job of scaring the public, about asbestos and the way it is, and it's yes, I mean, it is harmful over a period of time. However, that's a long period of time, 20, 25 years, and it takes that amount of time to manifest. So, I've never want to take any work away from me, and quite frankly, I have more work than I know what to do with right now. However, I don't want people to be afraid, residential people to be afraid to handle these things themselves. And, you can look up on YouTube, you can find the right PPE, personal protective equipment that you need. And you can take care of a lot of these things yourself and mitigate having to have an asbestos abatement contract come in and do the work. And there's a lot of people that just don't know that, and they're scared. And I get it, and I understand. But at the same time, there's things you can do to mitigate your loss from an asbestos abatement standpoint.
Need a break.
And to save yourself a lot of money.
There you go. So and so you do abatement, and you also do asbestos roofs, also, you do replacements.
No, we don't do any replacement. No, we're hammers, not scalpels.
Gotcha. All right.
So, we would just do the abatement, and, we really don't do much residential work. We have a lot of clients in the Southeast Louisiana area that we're servicing currently. And but anyway, just want to let people know that are out there that are listening right now, you can do this. You can. And just, do your diligence on YouTube or, wherever it is that you're going to get that information. And you can save yourself a lot of money and a lot of angst with insurance companies, because some insurance companies are going to completely exclude asbestos abatement no matter what it is. And some will give you a little bit on that. But don't be afraid to look it up and perform the work yourself.
All right. Well,
thank you.
Thanks a lot. That was great advice, and it's great help, and it's a relief to some people who do have asbestos roof. Okay. Well, thanks so much for the call, Bill. Let's go to a break. It's Doug Sinceri, Michelle Demers.
Louisiana Secretary of State Kyle Ardoin.
While Louisianans always come together to help our neighbors after disasters, some tradesmen will try to take advantage of those in need.
Okay, I've got two holding. I've got Pat from Destrehan, obviously roof, and I have Richard from Kenner. Wants to know the difference between nailing, between hand nailing and nail gun.
Visit our website, gobiz.com. That's
Pat from Destrehan and Richard from Kenner.
Or call the Secretary of State's office to confirm that the company you're doing business with is registered with our office. By taking a few extra minutes to research and confirm who you are working with, you can avoid being a victim a second time. This is Secretary of State Kyle Ardoin reminding you, don't fall for a post-hurricane scam. Visit GEAUXBIZ.
We're going to have about 4.5 minutes, it looks like.
Robert, I have a proclamation to make.
A proclamation?
A proclamation to the people of New Orleans.
Proclamate away, Lori.
We don't think you're stupid.
Of course we don't think they're stupid. What's gotten into you?
Friends, we don't think you're stupid.
Lori, what's going on?
A customer bought a big diamond from us for $7,000.
Diamond mine diamond or plasma chamber diamond?
Diamond mine.
And?
They said another store showed them a smaller, lower quality diamond and claimed it was a $10,000 diamond, but they are willing to sell it for only $7,000.
Oh, now I see.
A customer asked me, do those people think I'm stupid?
Wow.
And that was just the first one. I've talked to 5 more people who've had a similar experience.
Okay, so what's your solution?
Friends, look at the diamond, look at the price.
And then come to Ramsey's.
Look at our diamond, look at our price.
Ramsey's Diamond Jewelers, the largest diamond store in Louisiana, on Veterans between Bonneville and West End in Metairie.
Here's an important message from Brad Hassert with the Louisiana State Licensing Board for Contractors in the aftermath of Hurricane Ida.
License is required for any type of work over $7,500. And those who aren't licensed, to put it very bluntly, is we don't know who they are. We can't tell you that they're competent or they're any quality of work, and you often have no recourse. Those types of guys are the ones that typically take advantage of people in bad work or overcharge or essentially just theft. They take the money and they don't come and do any work at all. The problem with it is, though, that happens so frequently after any type of weather event. People they're anxious to get their stuff going. The board recommends that you verify licensure and insurance on anybody that you do business with. Anybody who wants to get paid in cash, that's always a bad sign. I know that you want your house fixed, but take a minute and just sort through it. If you feel like you've been taken advantage of, let us know. www.lacontractor.org, and we'll be more than happy to answer any questions that we possibly can.
That's lacontractor.org.
With a Medicare Advantage plan from People's Health, you get more benefits for no monthly premium. Benefits like $0 copays for primary care and virtual doctor visits, Part D prescription drug coverage, including $0 Tier 1 and Tier 2 generic drugs, a quarterly allowance for over-the-counter items, plus coverage for hearing aids, dental services, including dentures, and glasses or contacts. Visit peopleshealth.com to shop plans and enroll. People's Health, your Medicare health team.
Come on down to the Silver Slipper. Hi, this is John from the Silver Slipper Casino, here to tell you about our $450,000 Win That giveaway going on here at the Slipper. Come and play any of your favorite slots or table games any Friday or Saturday in the months of October, November, and December, and you'll be earning a chance to play the Win That Beanbag Toss game and win up to $10,000 in free slot play. And you can win up to $40,000 in cash and free play on the last Saturday of each month. Silver Slipper Casino, we are proud to be your host on the coast. Have a good time at the Silver Slipper.
Hello, I'm Mel Levesque, owner of Apron Agencies. Our team of local licensed insurance agents understand the Medicare health insurance plans in the local area. So for all of your Medicare questions this annual enrollment period, visit us at apronagencies.com like you're wearing a kitchen, apronagencies.com.
Wherever your next adventure lies, the 2021 Highlander and Tundra
we're going shortly.
to take you there. Visit your local Toyota dealer or Toyota.com today.
Monthly subscriptions now available. RejuveMeMedical.com.
Thanks for joining attorney Doug Sinceri on the Ida Recovery Connection from the station you turn to when it counts, WWL. Consult with Doug now on the Oakland Heart Jewelers Talk and Text line, 504-260-1870.
Hey, we're back on the Ida Recovery Connection. Let's go to phone lines. Let's go to Pat. Got it from Destrehan. Got a question. Hey, Pat, you on the Ida Recovery Connection? What can we do?
Hey, I got for the roofing professional, I got 2 questions.
All right.
I just had my roof put on today, I should say, in one day. Pulled open the access ladder, and all kind of I guess flakes from the sheathing came down. Any concern there? The other thing is that when I cleaned up my yard after the hurricane, I noticed that all my shingles had that cellophane tab, was still on there. And when I got home tonight, I noticed that I didn't have the cellophane tabs peeled off. Is there a concern there, or is that normal?
Well, 2 things. The debris in your attic is more than likely just some of your old underlayment that was through the vent pipes or things like that. It's just normal debris that will get into an attic space. So that's no concern at all, unless it's actual wood pieces. But you said sheeting, but I'm assuming that's a lot of just debris from the underlayment, which is your 15-pound old felt that got brushed in when they were tearing off the roof. The cellophane, there's some manufacturers still use cellophane, but there's a lot that don't even use cellophane anymore. The seal tab itself is just basically a bitumen type stripping that, during the heat of the summer melts together, and that's what creates that seal tab.
Yeah.
Not necessary on manufacturers, they don't require it to remove cellophane if there's actually cellophane on there, because it still will melt in hot days. But if you're roofing like in the winter months, especially up north, they recommend highly that you put a dab of cement or some kind of adhesive to seal the tabs, in addition to what's normally sealed, so that it has time to actually seal and don't get too brittle before the heat of the months come on.
Great.
2 minutes.
That's what I thought. Okay. Very good. All right. Thank you.
All right, let's go to phone lines. Let's got about 2 minutes. Let's go to Richard. He's got a question regarding hand nails versus otherwise.
Okay.
Hey, Richard, what you got for us?
Let's see if we can do this in 2 minutes. I have 3 sort of related questions, but first is using a nail gun versus nailing by hand. I keep hearing nailing by hand is better. I have asked several roofing contractors about doing it. They all pretty much refuse to do it. They insist on using a nail gun, although I understand Paul LaGrange is going to have a roofer on the North Shore do his house by hand. But I wonder, I'd like you to elaborate on that. And a couple of related questions. How do you know if you are driving a nail back into an old nail hole in your
1 minute.
Roof sheet and your sheeting when you use a nail gun? And what's the danger of that? What are the chances of that?
I'll tell you what, Richard, your questions will take more than the 40 seconds we have left. So if I can prevail on Eric to stay over the news break, and Richard, if you could hold on for about 10 minutes, we'll continue this discussion through the next segment after the news. How about that?
You got it. That's good with me.
Eric, you okay for going one more segment after news? You get paid double.
Absolutely.
You get paid double if you do it. All right.
I might miss my favorite show, though.
You know what? The Voice? Whatever.
I don't know. I don't even know what's on.
I don't either,
Go
man.
Staters, by the way.
I don't miss any of that because I don't watch it. All right. Well, that's hour number 1 on the Ida Recovery Connection. We're going to be back with Eric White, roofing consultant, Doug Sinceri, Michelle Demers Sinceri. Stay tuned for national news, local news. We're going to take Richard on the other side of the hour, so we'll see you in 10 minutes.
Home of the Saints and LSU. WWL New Orleans, WWL FM and HD1 Kenner New Orleans, and Odyssey Station.
This is CBS News on the Hour, sponsored by Rocket Mortgage.
I'm Jennifer Kuiper in Chicago. The U.S. House passes a short-term increase to the nation's debt limit, averting a government default. CBS's Nicole Killian says it was a party line vote.
Speaker Pelosi said today that she still hopes that there can be a bipartisan vote, and the White House reiterated that as well. So, from Democrats' perspective, it seems that they still want to try to get Republicans on board.
Republicans in several states are moving to block or undercut President Biden's COVID-19 vaccine mandates for private employers. CBS's Nancy Cordes.
Republican attorneys general from roughly 24 states have threatened to sue the administration. Texas is one of them.
And we're extremely concerned about the vaccine mandates from the federal government.
The conflict is sure to breed confusion for employers. Several major Texas-based companies have already announced vaccine mandates. American Airlines said today it's reviewing Governor Abbott's executive order, but believes the federal vaccine mandate supersedes any conflicting state law.
2 U.S. Postal Service workers are killed in a workplace shooting in Memphis, Tennessee. The shooter died from a self-inflicted gunshot wound. Roxanne Rogers lost her cousin, James Wilson.
He was a good man, outstanding man, the best man you ever want to meet. He's funny, he make you laugh, but I know that he's going to be missed. And I love him. I'm going to miss him.
Oral arguments took place before the Supreme Court today in a Kentucky abortion case, Cameron versus EWS Women's Surgical Center. But it's an abortion case that involves whether the state attorney general was too late in challenging an appeals court ruling barring enforcement of a state abortion law. Loyola Law School professor Lori Levinson.
The Supreme Court is hearing many arguments this term regarding abortion. This was not one that focused on whether abortion was constitutional or unconstitutional. This dispute was who could come into court to make those arguments.
After a recent student suicide and another suicide attempt, the University of North Carolina takes a day off for students to check in on each other. CBS's Peter King reports.
The university is billing it as a wellness day. The school's chancellor saying both the campus and the country are in the middle of a mental health crisis. Student Zach Meinmeyer says it's about time.
I've heard a lot of buzz around campus about people complaining about how they needed mental health days, they needed wellness days. They've been super tough, a lot of midterms going on right now.
Many students say the school needs to do more.
We need to check up and be there for each other.
Jamison McDaniel says students bear some of that responsibility too.
This is CBS News.
You can argue.
This hour's newscast is presented by Rocket Mortgage. Need to know what it takes for a home loan to fit your budget and your family? Rocket can.
Would you like a cleaning product that can be used in the garage, the laundry, and the kitchen, and save space in your cabinet? Hi, I'm Bruce Fabrizio, inventor of Simple Green. Concentrated all-purpose Simple Green is the answer for versatile cleaning throughout your home and garage. I'm so certain you'll love Simple Green. If you're not 100% satisfied, I'll give you your money back. To learn more, visit us at simplegreen.com.
Simple Green, Simple Green. Okay, my shipments have to get to customers on time and looking good.
It's possible with Staples Connect. Staples Connect has small business shipping covered with premium shipping supplies and UPS shipping services. And now, buy 2 get 1 free on select shipping supplies like bubble roll and premium shipping boxes. Plus, get 20% off UPS Express shipping services. Explore what's new at your local Staples store or staplesconnect.com. Staples Connect, the working and learning store. Ends 10/30. Visit staplesconnect.com/shipping for details.
WWL First News. I'm Chris Miller on your official weather station, WWL AM/FM.com. Did somebody say fall weather?
Fall weather will return, although I don't know if we've really seen it for very long this season, but it definitely will be more fall-like this weekend, and it looks like, based on extended forecast, to continue through most of next week. High temperatures, though, through the rest of this week will be in the mid to upper 80s, along with partly to mostly cloudy skies and high humidity. We will see a few showers on Friday with the front, cooling temperatures down for Saturday.
WWL TV meteorologist Chris Franklin's local weather expert forecast is on the way. Local officials are calling for action against a Lafitte business they say is responsible for the loss of the Kerner Bridge during Hurricane Ida. But the business owner is saying not so fast.
Jefferson Parish Councilman Ricky Template told WWL's Tommy Tucker this is the second time a barge from Tom's Marine and Salvage has gotten loose and knocked out the bridge that connects Lafitte to Barataria.
Something has to be done.
But Tom Kai Bim says, hey, that barge wasn't his, and it's unfair that local leaders are trying to put him out of business.
Why did he complain about hundreds of other boats down the road right there broke loose on the Katrina, on the Ida? It sunk in the canal. Why didn't look at that? None of my barges broke loose except that barge parked on the next to my property.
Matt Doyle, WWL First News.
We contacted the owner of the barge, who says two of Tom's boats broke free when Ida's storm surge flooded the area and dragged his barge towards the bridge. He says it was the boats that struck the bridge. Tom says he believes it was the barge that did it. A midday murder in Tremay. NOPD said two people were shot shortly before 11 this morning on Conti Street near the Lafitte Greenway. One of the victims was found on the sidewalk. He was pronounced dead at the hospital. A second victim was in a nearby home with a bullet wound to the leg. North Shore cops say a chase ended in Slidell with 4 arrests on gun, drug, and other charges. St. Tammany authorities say the driver of a car reported stolen from Tangipahoa Parish fled police in Mississippi. Hancock County deputies were trying to stop the vehicle they suspected was used in multiple burglaries. Police say they arrested the 4 suspects during a foot chase after the driver crashed into the woods near the Fremo exit.
Well, we'll see.
A meeting today focused on the elderly who died in New Orleans in independent living facilities in the wake of Hurricane Ida.
To make sure that doesn't happen again, new rules are being discussed to help these facilities prepare for declared emergencies. The City Health Department outlined the rules this morning. If the policy is implemented, senior homes will now have to follow a set of regulations that include having a staff member on site 24/7 during declared emergencies. They also would have to submit an emergency plan annually.
WWL TV's Jade Cunningham. The deaths happen after people who could normally care for themselves were stranded in buildings with no power, AC, or...
Okay, we got 1 minute to go.
Now,
we'll go
your
live.
Garcia Roofing forecast on WWL.
Right.
Yeah, we got everybody here.
Mostly dry, may see an isolated shower or two, mainly Thursday, but a better chance on Friday as our cold front approaches, triggering only about a 30% chance for a few showers, and then clearing out as we get into the day Saturday and turning much cooler, drier, and breezy. It will be a dramatic change to where we have been, with temperatures staying in the 70s all day Saturday. Overnight lows dropping into the low 50s and low 60s as we start the day on Sunday, with some models indicating some upper 40s. So that is definitely a fall chill. Sunday afternoon under sunny skies, a high of only 75. And long-range computer models looks as though that more fall-like feel will stick around through next week. From your local weather expert forecast center, I'm WWL TV Chief Meteorologist Chris Franklin.
No, not the game, just, yeah.
I'm Chris Miller, WWL First News.
From the station you turn to when it counts, WWL-AMFM.com and the Odyssey app, Louisiana's official emergency management station. This is Ida Recovery Connection with attorney Doug Sinceri. Connect now on the Oakland Hart Jewelers Talk and Text line, 504-260-1870. Now, beaming back to our Jefferson Financial Federal Credit Union studio, here's Doug.
Hey, we're back for hour number 2 on the Ida Recovery Connection. We're on till 10 o'clock on WWL, AM, FM, and Odyssey.com. We also will be on tomorrow night from 8 to 10, and we'll have our regular show, All Things Legal, on Sunday morning with myself and Albert Nico. And from 8 to 10, the Saints are off. And so when we left off last hour, Eric White agreed to stay for extra segment to answer Richard's questions. And Richard, first of all, had some questions regarding hand nails versus the nail gun. Nail gun. See, I'm no Paul LaGrange, as you can see. So Richard, you still there, brother?
I'm still here.
All right, so let's enter it. No time limitation now, so we can have a good discussion about this. So your first question was about a nail gun versus hand nails, and Paul LaGrange recommended that. And Eric, what is your response to that?
Absolutely, 100% agree. If you can find someone who's going to hand nail it for you, it's a much better end product, in my opinion. Simply because what happens with nail guns is that there's a bigger opportunity for it to be overshot. Because what happens sometimes, guys share the compressor on their nail guns. One guy may stop nailing for a while, so that pressure may build up in the second nail gun, and you may be overshooting nails. A lot of times when I do inspections of customers, if I'm doing an installation, that's one thing I check is what is the nailing pattern, number one. Number two, what is the nailing errors? I don't give any more than 10% errors in nailing before I start taking shingles out. If a shingle is over nailed, it should be removed. So because that you shot through that first shingle, now you only have so many nails holding that shingle in place. So yeah, definitely hand nailing is much superior product to gun nailing. The reason they don't want to go to hand nailing is that most guys don't do it a whole lot, and they can do it a lot faster. And most times, a lot of subs and that get paid per square. So the more they do, the quicker they do it, the more they get paid. It's not always in the best interest of the consumer, though.
Or if I'm willing to pay more to have it done by hand, should I keep leaning on them and trying to find someone who should do it? Because
absolutely,
so far, the one I've
talked to, time, yes, yeah, absolutely. And there's crews out there. And again, Doug can give you my number. You can call me, and I can help you find a hand nail crew.
Eric, yeah, give out your number, Eric.
Sure, it's 504-234-1014. And they're not unicorns; they do exist. But again, it's 504-234-1014. But you're going to pay a little bit more. It's like anything; you pay for what you get.
Yeah, I figured that.
Now, I'm going to say this: it's not to say that a gun nail cannot do the job, as long as they're paying attention.
Now, two other questions. One is that I was listening to them nailing the shingles on a roof across the street from my house the other day. At the time, they just had one guy working. He was using a nail gun. Most shingles, he was putting 5 nails in, sometimes 6, on occasion just 4. Is that right? Is that normal?
No, actually, and again, you'd have to see what they were actually nailing at the time.
Right.
It may have been they were near a cut edge, maybe they were near a hip, those type of things. So that can be a little bit misleading.
Okay.
But in most time, you do want to hear the 6 nails if you're using a type F type shingle. Now, some of the newer shingles, like the these shingles, and some of these shingles that you can put 4 nails, and they warranty up to a certain to wind speed. But you can have enhanced nailing patterns, with the 6, depending on the type of shingle itself, and get to another elevated wind speed, with the shingles. But it definitely can make a difference. And again, product is important, but so is the installation. You have to have both in order to have a good end product for the consumer.
The final question about nails, and then if we have time, I do have one other question. Is there a danger, especially when using a nail gun, of driving a nail back into where there was already a nail hole in your roof decking? If you're nailing by hand, you can tell when you're going into an existing hole. But what about with a nail gun? And is that something really worth being concerned about?
Well, again, I think that comes down to how many roofs have you put on your actual house.
Right.
If you get up to 4 or 5 roofs, then yeah, you may want to be a little concerned because you got a lot of nail holes over the years that have been put into that decking. For the most part, I've never come across that as a concern because, again, it's like engineering. There's a safety factor, so to speak. You have so many nails per shingle, so you got 6 nails per shingle, and then you have shingle underneath that with a 2-inch overlap. So actually, you have 12 nails per shingle if you're using a 6 nail pattern. So if 1 or 2 do happen to find that one little extra hole, it happen to be the same exact hole, and it's not going to be a disaster, so to speak. It's not going to fail just because it happened.
And the last question, I know there are 3 or 4 major manufacturers of shingles. Do you think any 1 or 2 particular brands of shingles are better than the others? Now, I know that I want an H speed rating. I understand that's the highest. As far as brands, do you think any 1 or 2 brands are better than the others?
I mean, I think the major thing is the type of shingle. You know, you want to make sure it's a H rated shingle, because that's what's going to dictate the speed. Now, all the shingles, again, you know, they're rated H, are put through the same test as every other shingle. So the other things that can make a shingle good or bad is the adhesion of the granules. You know, there are times that batches of shingles, you got to watch your downspouts. Make sure you're not having overabundance of granules come out to your downspouts. Because if you do, you may have a problem or defect in a particular shingle. You know, it could be any batch.
Okay.
If you lose granules, your roof ages prematurely, just basically. But as long as it's wind tested, you know, those are pretty much, you know, to a standard. Again, I'm not sure about the manufacturers as far as, you know, which ones. You know, some of the things you can look at from a particular manufacturer, if they're, you know, an ISO 9001 and 9002, you know, manufacturer, you may want to look at things like that, because then they pay to self-govern themselves through third parties to check to make sure what they're saying is true about their shingles. So I don't know. I mean, I'm not that detailed about the actual manufacturers, but I'm sure there's a lot of information out there you could find out, you know, but there's some major manufacturers that know better than any other.
Eric, you were very helpful, especially the information about hand nailing versus using a nail gun. I appreciate it. And Doug, thank you for the show.
Thank you, Richard.
I try to listen every time. Thank you.
Thanks so much. And thanks for participating in the Paul LaGrange portion of the show with Eric White. So I learned a lot listening to y'all. So thanks for the call, Richard. Eric, I have a question before I cut you loose so that you can catch the second half of The Voice.
Dancing with the Stars.
Dancing with the Stars. Or The Bachelorette. I mean, that might be over now. Oh, geez. Okay, we're going to get me started. Okay.
You know I am. You know my bedtime story is code, so
there you go. There you go. Now, if you wanted to watch the Braves and the Dodgers, Braves won, they're going to NLCS, but that would be cool. Would it be a good opportunity for homeowners to use the insurance money to supplement an upgrade for their roof, and why would that be a good idea?
Absolutely. You know, and that's one thing I do. Again, I'm trying to educate people and saying, hey, use this opportunity to upgrade your roof. There's a lot of roofs out there, again, on H-rated shingles. You know, they're F or I, and they're not rated for the high wind speeds. So you definitely want to make sure that's the case, that you're getting put on your roof. And those may cost a little bit more. And again, you get what you pay for. The bottom line is that hurricane deductibles are not going anywhere. And typically anywhere from 2 to 5%, depending on who your carrier is. So with that said, it pretty much a lot of times equals the amount of the actual cost to replace your roof. So if you have damage or repairs, every year you can be coming out of pocket regardless. And make no mistake, you know, they say it's a 5% deductible, but in reality, it's not always a 5% deductible. For example, say your home's worth $200,000 and you have a 5% deductible on your home. So that's $5,000. It's at $2,500 for as a deductible. But let's say you only have $10,000 repair. Well, all of a sudden that 5% is a whole lot more than just 5% of your deductible. So the less damage and the better you're prepared for future storms, the better off you'll be, and less money you're going to have to come out of pocket. Because regardless, you know, the insurance companies do the numbers, they know the math, and they're in the business of risk. So they're going to limit their risk as much as possible. And in fact, a lot of insurance companies now are even, you know, doing drive-bys, looking at houses and saying, hey,
could we take Stacy before he leaves?
Replace it. And I still get a lot of calls about that I have to go inspect roofs because people going, hey, they're going to drop me unless I change my roof. What can I do?
Gotcha.
And again, no one's been on the roof and they just going by what they see from the ground.
All right, we got Stacy who wants to catch you before you go watch The Voice or The Bachelorette. So Stacy, You on with Eric White. You got a question for Eric?
Yeah, well, it's a two-part question. The first part is drip edge required by code?
I don't know. I couldn't, to be honest, I couldn't tell you if it's required by code. I'd say it was required by me. The bottom line is if you don't have drip edge, there's a good possibility that you're either going to rot out your actual soffit. Now, I don't know if you need it on like a rake edge where maybe you have open rafters. But if you have a soffit, I would not do a roof without having a drip edge. And I think by Louisiana law, it is required because it's part of the instructions from the actual manufacturers to install as part of the process of installing their shingles.
Okay, so if somebody has a brand new roof and they found out that the contractor did not install drip edge, maybe did everything else right, but because they didn't feel like taking the gutters off and then reattaching and drilling through the drip edge, they just left the drip edge off. Is it worth it to have them come back and put the drip edge? I mean, wouldn't that be like breaking the seal on the shingle? I say a brand new roof, but the roof is 2 months old. Would it be worth breaking, I guess, the seal maybe on the starter strips? I mean, should they come back and put the drip edge? Is it that necessary?
Me personally, I would say yes, 100%. If it was my house, I would want the drip edge. Now, just like in winter months, you can reseal that starter strip by using adhesive. Whether it's like a cement adhesive. So once they install it, they can reseal it by using an adhesive, just like if you would doing shingles in the winter months up north.
Okay.
So for me, it's definitely worth it because, number one, like I said, a lot of times you'll see shingles. And again, here's another thing too. A lot of people don't realize this drives me batty. In fact, I was looking at the house today where the decking actually stopped about 1.5 inches from the front of the fascia board, and a lot of the drip edges that they put on today, some of them only like 3 inches wide. So as a result, there was only 1.5 inches that was potentially nailable into the actual decking, if that makes sense. So you had this big gap. Yeah. So a lot of times if you don't put that drip edge, and I see this all the time, I get what's called, and I call it a ski slope. Basically, it concaves at the very edge. Mm-hmm. And again, shingles are water shedding, not waterproofed. So if you have a belly in your shingle at the very edge and it holds water, it's going to allow water to get into the soffit areas, and it's going to rot the soffit out, especially if it's wood. And then also rafter tails, which can be very problematic. So without a doubt, I would want my drip edge because it protects it from doing that. It also protects any water that gets underneath the shingles, and as it runs out, the paper is on top of your drip edge, so it allows it to run out without getting into a gap or a hole as well in your roofing system. And also, being a termite capital world, you allow a little drip anywhere in your house, and you're inviting potential termite problems as well.
There you go.
Okay.
All right.
So, can I ask one other quick question?
Yes, quickly. We got to go to commercial.
Okay, I was just wondering, what is the number one problem that you see mistakes that are being made with all these new roofs being put on? What's the number one issue that you're seeing?
Excellent question.
I would say just the nailing of the actual shingles, making sure there's enough nails, making sure they're nailed properly to begin with. And you can spot check nails again. You can lift shingles to check your roof, afterwards to make sure enough shingles nails were put on, during the process. And just spot check 10% of it. And if you have more than 10% problems, then you may want to say, hey, you need to come back and deal with this, Mr. Roofer.
All right.
Okay. Thank you so much.
Thanks for the call, Stacy. Eric, if anybody wants to contact you, any questions regarding any Ida roof issues, what's your phone number?
It's 504-234-1014.
All right. And if you're not there, they can get with your daughter, Sydney, right? And she can direct me your way. By the way, is Sydney engaged yet? I mean, we talked about this 3 weeks ago. A boyfriend, because you tell that boyfriend that if he snoozes, he loses. You know, you can't just.
Actually, it was his birthday weekend, and she took Very Cabaret. They rented a little whole table for the Saints game at the Wrong Iron this past weekend, so they had a good time.
Well, tell him to get on the stick there because So
and
anyway,
let me say, go Staters, by the way, this past weekend.
Oh yeah, they beat that. Boy, they won big, huh? I mean, really big. Yeah. So yeah, it looks like the Raiders are going to make a run to state championship. To win the Catholic League is sometimes harder to win the Catholic League than it is to win a state championship. So there you go. All right. Well, Eric, thanks so much for joining us. Thanks for working overtime. You get paid double. Checks in the mail, and we'll invite you back again real soon. Okay, Eric.
My pleasure. Thank you so much.
Thanks so much. Good night. All right. This is Doug Sinceri, Michelle Demers Sinceri on the IDA Recovery Connection. We'll be right back after this brief timeout.
Make the jet toss. Give it to Ty Davis Price. Right side. Touchdown. Fighting Tigers.
Okay, I have one holding. His name is Greg Laplace, and he has an insurance problem question.
Huge hole, far side 30. Down to the 20, the 15, 10, and eventually out of bounds. Stays down and falls back into the end zone. Touchdown, Fighting Tigers.
LSU hosts Florida Saturday, 11 a.m. on WWL. Stream the game live free on the Odyssey app.
Napa know-how.
At Napa, we've teamed up with AAA to save you 20% online or in-store. That's why they call us the Savings Dream Team. Okay, we're the only ones calling us that. But it's true. Your AAA membership can save you 20% at Napa. So we're basically superheroes with the most specific power ever, saving you 20%. Quality parts, helpful people. That's Napa know-how.
Napa know-how.
20% off regular retail prices with valid AAA membership card. Offer good online and participating stores. Offer ends 10/31/21.
Did you know the arrow in Amazon's logo represents A to Z? Maybe the My Computer Career logo should represent unemployed to employed. Ryan was out of work when he started classes in March. In September, he started his IT career, working for Amazon, making more money than he ever thought possible. Here's a prime opportunity. Go to mycomputercareer.edu and take the free career evaluation today. You could start your new life as an IT pro in as little as 4 months. It's not rocket science. It's mycomputercareer.edu.
It's been a great start to the NFL season, and it's only getting better at DraftKings, the official daily fantasy partner of the NFL. DraftKings is putting new customers in the center of the action with a free shot at millions of dollars in total prizes. Get in on the action now. It's simple. Just pick your lineup, stay under the salary cap, and see how your team stacks up against the competition. Feel the NFL action like never before with a free shot at millions of dollars in total prizes. DraftKings is safe, secure, and reliable. And the best part is you can deposit and withdraw your cash whenever you want. Download the DraftKings app now and use code BIG870. This week, new customers can get a free shot at millions of dollars in total prizes. Enter code BIG870 to get a free shot at millions of dollars in total prizes with your first deposit. That's code BIG870. Only at DraftKings, the official daily fantasy partner of the NFL. Minimum $5 deposit required. Eligibility restrictions apply. See DraftKings.com for details.
Hi, I'm Rusty Jenkins, Regional Sales Manager for Louisiana Land Bank. A lot of us at Louisiana Land Bank own land too, so we understand that passion. We live it every day and we love it. It's all about relationships to us. We go sit at kitchen tables. We go to camps. Anywhere that the borrower is located, we go to them. For those of you out there who are considering owning a piece of the American dream, come see us. We're here for you.
Louisiana Land Bank, your agricultural lending experts.
Earn your executive MBA in 17 months on Saturdays at Southeastern Louisiana University. Our accredited program offers general management and healthcare concentrations. Classes start in January. Contact Dr. John Cresson, Director, at 985-549-2146.
At Oakland Heart, we don't just move diamonds. We move people. Breathtaking diamonds, stunning designs, rings, bracelets, earrings, and necklaces, all at the best possible prices. Simply compare. Oakland Heart Jewelers on Metairie Road.
If you have an unpaid tax debt to the IRS that you can't pay, please hear this special notice.
Specially approved IRS relief programs designed to aid delinquent taxpayers are now in effect that can significantly improve your financial situation. Depending on your circumstances, you may qualify to have your tax problem resolved in your favor and may even have your back taxes reduced by thousands or eliminated entirely. A relief hotline has been established by Community Tax for you to call and see if you qualify at 800-256-4180.
Okay, right after this, we'll go live.
IRS back taxes that you can't afford to
This is
pay.
Greg
Don't let the
from
IRS trick you into
Laplace.
thinking you have no way
And
out.
he has
Our
an
highly
insurance
accredited tax
problem.
professionals will let you know what you qualify for and how much you can save. We may be able to stop all liens, garnishments, levies, and save you thousands. Call and see if you qualify for this taxpayer relief at 800-256-4180. 800-256-4180. 800-256-4180. Community Tax. Who's your tax guy?
It's continuing coverage of the Ida recovery on WWLAMFM.com and the Odyssey app. Reach attorney Doug Sinceri now on the Oakland Heart Jewelers Talk and Text line, 504-260-1870.
Hey, we're back on the Ida Recovery Connection. Doug Sinceri, Michelle Demers Sinceri. Let's go to phone lines. Let's go to Greg in Laplace. Hey, Greg, what can we do for you, brother? Greg. No, Greg?
I don't hear Greg.
All right. Well, we'll just move on.
Okay. I know we had a text that you wanted to.
We had a text. Let's go to the text. It says, after your adjuster comes out, how long does the insurance company have to pay for your claim? Bill W. I wonder if he called that from a meeting. Bill W. maybe, this insurance situation has driven some people to maybe have a few drinks or something. Oh. That Bill W. All the AA people would know what that meant.
I'm lost.
You're lost. You're back.
I am lost.
All right, you're lost. All right. First of all, that's an interesting question, and we argue about this in court. It's our position of the policyholder, once the insurance company has quantified damages, they have 30 and 60-day periods to pay it. Now, the insurance company is going to argue that it's not up to us to quantify damages. We're just giving an advance payment, but it's up to the policyholder to quantify the damages. So therefore, the clock doesn't start running. Now, there's a clock. Once the claimant or the policyholder submits a proof of loss from a contractor or roofer, then the insurance company has 30 and 60-day periods to pay what's undisputed. If they don't pay within that timeline after receipt of satisfactory proof of loss, is what they call, they can be liable for penalties and attorney's fees. They could be liable for penalties up to double damages, up till, it's not guaranteed to it, or a 50% penalty or attorney's fees. There's two statutes or two laws that apply to that. Now, what you can do is, if we're in a trial and we have that the insurance company had the damages quantified and sat on the check for a couple of months, in addition to that, they didn't pay after satisfactory proof of loss by the policyholder within 30 or 60 days, we sought to show that their failure to get that money out sooner when they quantify those damages just shows the general sloppiness and bad faith in processing the claim.
The way that I read Bill W.'s text was essentially, once the adjuster comes out, how long do they have to give the report? Because
there's really no time limit.
Right.
And that's what I'm saying. There's really no time limit for them to do that, from as far as the law is concerned. From their perspective, we're not required to quantify damages. Now, they do have some time periods as far as getting out there, and which are usually waived in the case of a disaster. So from a pragmatic standpoint, they really, it's up to the homeowner or the policyholder to submit the damages. And that's what the insurance companies argue. It's not our place to do that. We just provide insurance. You got to provide proof of damages, and then we will evaluate them.
And I think that's what we've been talking about, is the paradigm shift or the change in how people think about it, that it is really their duty. And right. I know it's expensive, and so most people don't have the extra funds to hire their own contractor to give an estimate.
Right. And you can hire a public adjuster.
Sure.
You could hire an attorney who usually employs contractors to do that, or you can do it yourself. And if you can find a contractor, especially if they have an Xactimate program, and it's a very, very good investment. We use Ken Savage, we use Kevin Manali, and it's a very good investment to pay them and to define your damages.
Because once you submit your claim,
the clock starts running.
Then the clock starts
on
running.
The line, we'll get to them after the next break.
Okay, so I'll tell you what. Let's take a break, and we have who do we have on?
Michael on the phone.
We got Michael waiting on the other side of the break, and he's got a question. So I'm going to take a break on the Ida Recovery Connection. We'll be back right after this brief time out.
Every Friday at 4 p.m., the countdown to the football weekend officially begins.
Okay, we have Greg who came back from Laplace, and we have Michael from New Orleans. Laplace, Greg just left again. So it's Michael from New Orleans, and he has a problem with some benefits and some repairs that he needs done, and I'm not entirely sure exactly what that means.
Toss and Deuce, fans and the pros, Fridays, 4 to 7 p.m. here on WWL.
Hello! So glad you could make it. How have you been? This is some great weather we're having, huh? And with whom am I speaking on this fine day?
Joe?
You sure about that? Just kidding. Joe. So what are you looking for today?
Something fun. Really, just browsing.
Joe! Have I got the perfect thing for you?
You do?
I do. October scratch-offs from the lottery.
Lottery?
Yes, lottery. Stay with me, Joe. I've got Match 3 Tripler, or how about some gold? And finally, we have Lucky 7, each one guaranteeing fun and affordably priced. What do you think, Joe?
Sounds great.
Introducing the October scratch-offs from the lottery. Match 3 Tripler, win up to $3,000. Gold, win up to $12,000. And Lucky 7, where you can win up to $100,000. Pick up all three at any lottery retailer.
Hello! So glad you could make it. How have you been? This is some great weather we're having, huh? And with whom am I speaking on this fine day?
Cindy?
Well, Cindy, do I have some fun games?
Play Match 3 Tripler, Gold, and Lucky 7 today for your chance to win up to $100,000. Must be at least 21 to purchase.
As life gets back to normal here, Diamonds Direct is doing our part with a special offer that's guaranteed to make celebrating those important moments easier and more affordable than ever. You can make any purchase at Diamonds Direct now and spread your payments over 5 years with 0 interest. And everything's included. Rings, earrings, pendants, bracelets, bands. Plus, every sale at Diamonds Direct will benefit Cajun Navy Ground Force and Second Harvest. Buy now, spread your payments over 5 years, and give back at Diamonds Direct on Severn Avenue across from Lakeside Mall.
At Mike Brenner Injury Attorneys, we know that car wrecks don't keep regular business hours, and neither do we. If you've been hurt in a wreck after 5 p.m., don't wait until tomorrow to get the help you need right now. We have people standing by, ready to take your call, ready to give you free advice, and ready to help you get the medical attention you need. You don't have to wait till tomorrow to call an attorney. Call me, Mike Bradner. We're the 24/7 injury attorneys, and we're available to get you the help you need right now.
Hurt in the wreck, Mike Bradner's the one. Call 345-1111.
Results may vary. Offices in Metairie and Hammond.
Hi gang, Bob Breck here for Riverlands Insurance Services. Do you have Medicare questions? Understanding Medicare can be a challenge. My friends at Riverlands have a full staff of local and licensed representatives ready to help you choose your best plan.
Okay, so that is Michael from New Orleans, and I also have David from Harahan who got a adjustment that seems a bit low for him.
Riverlands Insurance. You can too. Call 504-217-7420 or visit riverlandsinsurance.com.
Help DEA keep our community safe and healthy by participating in National Prescription Drug Take-Back Day, Saturday, October 23rd. Take action right in your own home by cleaning out your family medicine cabinet of unused and expired prescription drugs. Keep them safe, clean them out, take them back. To find a collection site near you, visit DEATakeback.com. Do your part to lower overdose deaths and prevent prescription drug misuse before it starts. That's DEATakeback.com.
Hey, it's Tommy. About a year and a half ago, I painted my house with Benjamin Moore paint from Helm Paint and Decorating. It came out great and looks brand new. Now it's time for the inside, and I'm still going to Helm. Well, they're coming to me. I'm going to call 390-3865. Make an appointment for
last spot's going to be Big Lou. I had a wife and couldn't keep her.
Yes, then install my shutter blinds, plantation shutters, or whatever I pick. Inside window treatments are very easy with Helm. Get all the information you need at helmpaint.com.
Keefs is working overtime getting our region powered up and cool. If your family needs AC or generator services, call us today. For the coolest recovery possible and for fast relief, call Keef.
Keef's Air Conditioning and Heating.
And now electrical.
For fast relief, call Keef.
Your life, your hopes,
And whatever you were searching for at 1:15 a.m., it's really none of our business, and it shouldn't be anyone else's. Protect your privacy online for free with DuckDuckGo. DuckDuckGo. Privacy simplified.
Do you have 3 ex-wives and your current trophy wife wants a life insurance policy 3 times the size of the policies you had to purchase for your previous mistakes? If so, you need to call Big Lou, a term provider, 800-568-2790. Big Lou is intimately familiar with your problems, and if you're 50 or 60 years old and in reasonably good health, a $1 million policy should only cost about $100 to $200 per month. Big Lou may have a solution for your previous policies as well. You may even save enough money to lighten the load on your new $1 million policy. Remember, call Big Lou. He's like you, except he's only on number 2. Call Term Provider at 800-568-2790. That's 800-568-2790 for $1 million in term life insurance that you can live with. Call Big Lou at 800-568-2790.
Back to Ida Recovery Connection on WWL-AMFM.com and the Odyssey app. You can get expert advice now from attorney Doug Sinceri on the Oakland Heart Jewelers Talk and Text line, 504-260-1870.
All right, we're back. Doug Sinceri, Michelle Demers Sinceri on the Ida Recovery Connection. Let me ask you something.
Yes.
Did you represent Big Lou's first wife?
No.
No?
Those commercials are interesting.
Yeah, they're interesting. So I thought you were big. That's why I think Big Lou was so bitter, because you were representing his wife and you cleaned him out. So
that's funny.
Anyway,
Thanks.
Yeah, I see him. He goes to the Caddyshack. He's there every day. All right. That's where our office is. It's by the Caddyshack. Let's see. Let's go to phone lines. Let's go to Michael in New Orleans. He's got a question. Hey, Michael, you're in Ida Recovery Connection. How can we help you?
Yes, Doug, I just had a question. I was flipping through the stations. You're not on Sundays anymore?
We are. When the Saints are playing at 12, we're preempted. For some reason, they want to do Saints pregame instead of us when the Saints play. I just don't understand it. But we'll be on this Sunday.
So this is every night? Is this every day?
This Wednesday and Tuesday and Wednesday.
Tuesdays and Wednesdays.
Okay, well, keep up. I just want to say, keep up the good work. I use you as an attorney. You're very good.
All right. Well, thank you, Michael. I appreciate
Thanks a lot.
that. All right, brother. All right, let's go to David in Harahan. Hey, Dave, you on the Ida Recovery Connection?
Hey, thank you for taking my call. So, I had some minor roof damage. I had some missing shingles. Water didn't get into the house, thankfully. The adjuster came out and he did his assessment and sent me his report. And the report, the dollar amount was not enough for a roof replacement.
Mm-hmm.
And so I think, I'm not an expert on roof construction or design but what I've heard, you and it was a public adjuster on the radio who also said that if you have any missing shingles, that you should lobby for a roof replacement, and that you should expect that. And so I wanted to discuss that with you. I'm on the fence right now about hiring a public adjuster to come out and conduct an independent assessment and
of the roof. Is it only roof damage?
Yes, that's correct. No, I had some other minor damage too, some siding damage.
Gotcha.
I wasn't the adjuster. Yeah, the adjuster he covered all that well.
I think one of the things you'd want to do, and you could do this with a proposed roofer who would replace the roof, is have them go up there and do some analysis and test as to whether the roof needs to be replaced or not. And part of the analysis could be with whether the shingles are sealed or unsealed. You had Eric White, who was a guest on earlier. He was saying that he goes, if there's more than 30%
at 10 by 10
in a 10 by 10 area on both sides of the roof that are compromised, that's his threshold for a new roof. Florida says that 25% of the roof needs to be more than 25% of the roof needs to be replaced. Their building code says you got to replace the whole thing. So your roofer can actually go onto the roof, conduct his analysis, and then put his conclusions in the proposed estimate. And you submit that. And if you have a public adjuster, you submit it in connection with your public adjuster's report. So that would be the way to do that and determine, to try to get a replacement.
Okay, great. So the roofer that I would hire to make any repair, just have him provide me with his assessment.
Yes.
And submit that to the adjuster along with possibly a report from my own independent public adjuster.
Absolutely. In an area, you want the report to first of all address whether the roof has to be replaced or repaired. If a replacement is necessary, is it due to the high winds from Hurricane Ida? And also in the report, it's not very long, what analysis did he do to come to that conclusion?
So my roof is about 15 years old. It's supposed to be a 25 or 30-year roof. The adjuster said that roofs never last that long in Louisiana. And
that's why you get insurance.
So, right, of course. And so I guess I'm concerned that if I do, the roofer or the public adjuster state that I should replace my roof, that the insurance company could come back and say, well, your roof was old, and that. Now, I am paying. My insurance is for replacement costs, so I think that might be a factor.
Yeah, no.
too.
If you replacement costs, you got a Cadillac insurance policy, and you can avail yourself to that provision where they got to pay for the replacement, and they're not going to depreciate it based on actual cash value.
Okay. All right.
So what you need to do is you need red meat to throw at the insurance company in order to convince them to replace it. So in other words, the red meat would be your roofer who's licensed, has experience, conducted a test and analysis, and came up with the conclusion that the roof had to be replaced and not repaired. And he goes through his analysis, which would be the test he's conducted, that also you can't match the shingles if you have to do a repair. Also, it voids any warranties. So there's a long list of factors and I'm just saying this because most roofs, 3-tab roofs, are not engineered to withstand more than 70, 80 mile an hour winds. And most of this listening area in southeast Louisiana sustain those winds. So I'm not saying this frivolously. I'm not saying this, without probability that a lot of these roofs need to be replaced because they're not engineered to withstand the winds that came from Hurricane Ida.
I understand.
All right.
Okay, we got Chris.
Great. Thank you very much.
All right. Let's go to Chris. Hey, Chris, you're on the Ida Recovery Connection. What can we do for you, brother?
Thank you for taking my call, and I think this the last call dovetails well with mine. I had a question regarding I've actually employed a public adjuster. I went through this after Katrina, and I didn't know about public adjusters. So now that I do, I've got the public adjuster, and the reports are coming in from the public adjuster. But now I'm sort of in the dark area of, okay, what do I do with this report? And one of my insurance companies, just to preface this, I have several rental properties, and one of the insurance companies says that if you're working with a public adjuster, we can't speak to you anymore about your property. So I haven't signed any sort of representation or anything.
Well, I have an idea. If you want to continue to communicate with the insurance company, the public adjuster can write a letter saying he gives permission to speak with the insured.
Okay, and that was part of my question. Would that typically go through an attorney, or do you use the adjuster, or when do I engage whom? When? I guess is my question.
Yeah, I guess that's a good question. I would say you engage the attorney when you hit that brick wall and you're convinced that the insurance company is not going to make any more voluntary payments. When you've exhausted every possibility every appeal, every readjustment within the insurance company, and you're convinced that the only way they're going to pay more is if they have the enforcement mechanism of going to court.
Great. That's the answer I needed.
All right, my man.
Thank you.
Thank you for calling.
Wish you success. All right, let's go to our final break. Doug Sinceri, Michelle Demer-Sinceri on the Ida Recovery Connection. We'll be right back after this brief time out.
Here in Louisiana, our resilience muscles are getting
Okay, we have one more caller whose name is Buddy from Mary, and he has a question about recoverable depreciation.
That doesn't mean we don't get tired. If you need help, try Blue Care, Blue Cross's telehealth service for online visits with doctors and counselors. Just download the app at bcbsla.com/bluecare. One word, and get access to care 24/7. With Blue Care, members can get the care they need from medical and behavioral specialists. At Blue Cross, our mission is to improve the health and lives of Louisianians, and that starts with getting you the care you need, especially now. We'll make it through the tough times. We always do. And Blue Cross will be here to support you.
Can you pick winners? Well, then you can win cash. It's that simple. In the Rocket Mortgage Pro Football Pickup, just pick the most games right this week, and you can score $1,000. Just like that. No lineups, no spreads, no
We're going to have about 7 minutes to the end of the show.
The Rocket Mortgage Pro Football Pickup. It's totally free to play, so enter now by texting PICS to 20357. That's PICS to 20357.
At Oakland Heart Jewelers, we offer a vast selection of breathtaking diamond jewelry. Choose from dazzling rings, earrings, bracelets, and necklaces like no other, and in every price range. Shop jewelry from the Oakland Heart Collection, designed exclusively for New Orleans by our award-winning craftsmen, right here in our Metairie Road store. For that special jewelry for that one-of-a-kind love, shop smart for the best prices possible at Oakland Heart Jewelers. Beautiful in more ways than one.
Did you get all the stimulus money for you and your family? Do you have children and didn't know you could receive monthly child tax credit payments? You can claim your monthly child tax credit payments and missing stimulus payments even if you don't file a traditional tax return. Visit ssa.gov/EIP to learn how you can apply online. Get the money your family deserves. Visit ssa.gov/EIP. Produced at U.S. taxpayer expense.
Over the past year, we've been through a lot, learned a lot, and responded to our clients' needs. As vaccines become more prevalent, we need to stay vigilant and look towards the future. Our cleaning and disinfecting programs have worked against COVID-19, and they will continue to work in the future to give you a clean and healthy building all the time. Janie King, the King of Clean, can help give you a clean and healthy building every day.
Janie King, the King of Clean.
Since 1935, the All-State Sugar Bowl has been a proud New Orleans New Year's Day tradition. Through its annual support of college football and amateur sports, the Sugar Bowl attracts hundreds of thousands of visitors to the state, providing countless opportunities for young people. Resources from these events enable the Sugar Bowl to support education and community programs, impacting thousands of New Orleans area teachers and citizens. The All-State Sugar Bowl, proud to host the best of the Big 12 and the SEC in the Superdome on New Year's Day 2022.
Hello, I'm Mel Levesque, owner of Apron Agencies. Our team of local licensed insurance agents understand the Medicare health insurance plans in the local area. So for all of your Medicare questions this annual enrollment period, visit us at apronagencies.com like you wear in a kitchen, apronagencies.com.
I heard the COVID-19 vaccine
And the thing I heard about the vaccine...
Sure, but do we really know about the long-term effects? Did you read that thing on the internet?
He heard from his cousin that they don't...
Okay, you're hearing a lot of talk about the COVID-19 vaccines these days. So how do you find out if getting vaccinated is right for you? By talking to someone you already trust, your doctor or healthcare provider. They'll answer your questions so you can decide what's best for you and your family. Go to getvaccineanswers.org to find out more. That's getvaccineanswers.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council.
Let's figure out how to find common ground again. At the Institute for Citizens and Scholars, we are focused on rebuilding democracy by broadening civic learning and supporting civil discourse. To learn more about how to get involved, visit us at citizensandscholars.org.
Back to the Ida Recovery Connection on the station you turn to when it counts. WWL, the Big 870 AM, 105.3 FM, WWL.com, and the Odyssey app. Contact attorney Doug Sinceri now on the Oakland Heart Jewelers Talk and Text line, 504-260-1870.
Hey, we're back on the Ida Recovery Connection on WWL, AM, FM, Odyssey.com. We'll be back on tomorrow night at 8 o'clock from 8 to 10, and Albert and I will be on Sunday morning. The Saints are off, so we'll be on Sunday morning from 8 to 2. Let's go to the phone lines. Let's go to Buddy. He's got a great question about recoverable depreciation. Hey, Buddy, you're on the Ida Recovery
Hey, how
Connection.
you doing?
Hey, brother, what can we do for you?
Well, the recoverable depreciation on the estimate from the insurance company, in my case, is worth almost $7,000.
Right.
I don't know what that is. I don't know what
that's a great
recoverable
question.
depreciation is.
What are they going to pay you?
The replacement cost is a roof. It's just over $15,000. I have $6,800, almost $7,000 depreciation. My deductible is $4,000.
Okay.
And then as I go down the line, it says recoverable depreciation is just short of $7,000.
Okay, what that says is when you exceed the actual cash value in that estimate, they will pay you back that $7,000 if you spent that $7,000 to replace your roof, in addition to what you already received.
Okay, so they're going to give me like $4,500, but if the roof is $12,000, they'll give me the extra $7,000 of depreciation back
after you replace it. Yes. What you do is you send them a picture. You send them a picture of the roof replacement and the invoice, and they'll send you that $7,000 back.
Excellent. I did not understand that, but that's very. And by the way, your whole show was very helpful tonight. I learned an awful lot listening to you.
Well, thank you. That's why we're here. All right, buddy.
All right.
Thanks so much.
Thank you for your help.
Appreciate that.
Yeah, that was a great question.
You told me before the show we got to address that.
So thank you, buddy.
So thank you, buddy, for asking that. So we got I guess we got a minute or two. We'll be back on, and we want to congratulate your mother. We got married,
Saturday night. It was fun.
Yes, I'm still recovering.
Me too.
I know we're dragging tonight a little bit because I've never been to a wedding where it's probably one of the wilder weddings I've ever been to. I mean, fun weddings.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we danced for 3.5 hours straight.
Right. And like I said, your mom, she's got married at a little bit of an advanced age, right?
A little bit.
Some may say more advanced than others. And so, but that was like the most greatest, it was a great wedding.
It was a lot of fun.
And, I missed the LSU game, but I didn't miss anything.
No, you didn't miss a thing.
Oh, man.
I know.
The countdown on Go Joe is on the way.
I know. I'm sorry. I know. We're house divided on that, but I know.
I'd still, we'll see. He's got 6 games to turn around. I just like him personally.
I know.
And I hope, it's always good to have a Cajun. It was his dream job, and maybe the expiration date has passed, but
we'll see what happens with Florida.
Yeah, well, I think there's a bunch of nails in the in the
coffin.
Yeah, well, I was going to say into the shingles.
Oh,
the roof shingles. But
I tell you what, Eric did a great job of explaining the difference between hand nailed and in overshooting, and it's. I mean, I learned a lot tonight listening to him, so that was good.
That's right. It was like listening to the Paul LaGrange show. We just sat here and we had something to eat and drink and went to the restroom, and they were talking, and they did a great job.
And now we have to find a roofer who's going to do a hand nails for us.
Yeah, so we'll find one. That's what you were saying. We got to get someone who does hand nails. I said that sounds good. So I also want to apologize to the people who I said LSU was a lock against Kentucky, because I'd said, you don't need to listen to, if you can't get to the Bet HQ, which is on, which is a new, let's see, on the Odyssey app. It is the, where is it? I can't find it, but I was, in light of the betting show, I said, here's 2 locks. I said, take the Saints and the points against Washington. I think it was pretty much even. And and also take the LSU in the
Oh,
points.
you did say that. Take the LSU.
So
and the
I was
points.
50-50. Which
Yeah.
if you only win 50-50, you lose because the bookie gets the juice. So I would have been behind. But for all the people I said, take LSU because I thought they were going to beat Kentucky. I apologize. And the lesson is you should never listen to a lawyer who gives betting advice.
No, never.
Even especially on LSU because I'm too emotionally invested in it. So I'm not objective. But anyway, so we're going to so we'll be back next week. Tomorrow night. Tonight's been rough, huh? We're still sort of like recovering from the wedding from Saturday night. So we'll be a lot better rested. Is that right? More rested? That's what they taught me at Del Sal. Is it more rested? Better rested?
Be well rested.
Well rested? Is that how you say that?
We'll be well rested.
We'll be well rested for tomorrow night's show. All right, so we'll be back on the Ida Recovery Connection tomorrow from 8 to 10. We'll be on All Things Legal from 8 to 10 on Sunday in the morning. So we'll see you tomorrow night in about 22 hours. Be good. Have a great evening. We'll see you tomorrow.
The News Talk Sports Powerhouse. WWL New Orleans, WWL FM and HD1 Kenner New Orleans, and Odyssey Station.